Yo, what is going on, everybody? It is Straight Out of Boston here, and today I'm back for episode number 25 of my Tampa Bay Rays Let's Play series here on Out of the Park Baseball 18. So we advance into the offseason after losing the 2021 World Series to the Atlanta Braves in 5 games, and we lost that crucial Game 4. That was pretty much the turning point in the series when Mike Morin blew that save. Usually, Mike Morin pretty good, but... And I misspoke, we actually lost in 6 games. But anyway, taking a look at our off-season decisions that we've got to make coming up here. Matt Carpenter, his vesting option fails to... Or his option fails to vest, I should just say. So he's a free agent. I don't know what... I didn't even know he had an option. I thought he was just going to be a free agent no matter what. Probably not going to re-sign him. He's down to a 3-star player. Chris Sale has a $13 million option on his contract. He has 2 of those coming up. So he's got 2 years left on his deal. We're definitely going to pick this up. He again led. I guess this means he led all pitchers in WAR, because he couldn't have led with 4. I mean, we have guys on our own team who had more than 4.5 WAR, but those were batters. So I'm assuming that means he led pitchers. But I mean, it's the 3rd straight year he's done that. So we're definitely going to execute his option. Segura, his option did not vest. He was a 3-win player for us this year. His rating's not very good though. I don't know if I'll re-sign him. Our market size increases. That's always a good sign. That probably means our budget went up. And our team payroll can be up to 150,000. I mean, that's compared to what we started. That's pretty good. We lose our bench coach and our team trainer. That's a big blow. Bench coach I had meaning to replace though. So for trainer, for a new trainer, I think one of these 2 guys, probably this guy Galazara, if I can get him. He seems like the obvious fit, the obvious choice. Or this guy. How about PJ Mainville? This guy's good at everything. 4 years. And then we also need a new bench coach. And let's hire this guy, unorthodox, to be our bench coach. He doesn't want to be our bench coach. What about Bernie Crawford? Do you want to be our bench coach? I definitely don't want to replace Butterfield. He's gotten us to 2 World Series. Alright, let's take a look at the salary arbitration screen. So Josh Bell has 2 years left of team control. His ratings are down. He's down to a 4-star. That's not too good, but still had a very productive year. So because his ratings are down, probably not going to extend him for more than the 1 year. He's got 2 years of team control left, and his money's already getting up there. Like, he's probably going to be looking for $20 million a year by the time he hits free agency. So I don't really know if he's the type of player that I'm going to be giving an extension past the 6 years of or the 7 years of service time that I'll have him. Jake Bauers, on the other hand, is still looking like a stud. 2nd consecutive 5-win season. So he's looking for 6.3. Kind of in a similar spot to Bell, but if we could get him on the right kind of extension, I would consider re-signing him to a long-term deal. So this is the kind of deal that's very super team friendly. 6.3 million, 9-12 in the remaining arbitration years, and then 2 team options at 15. And that, you know, I don't know if those will be picked up. That's if he continues to be a very good hitter. He has to be a very good hitter to be a valuable player, because his defense is not that spectacular. His base running, well, his base running is pretty good. So nice player to have at the top of the lineup. Urena, I guess I might as well bring him back for $800,000 after he actually played in the postseason and was starting for us in the World Series. Hernandez, I'm definitely not going to bring back for 4.2. He'll probably get non-tendered, but I'll at least shop him around, see what he would be worth on the trade market. Rivero's got 2 years left of team control. Actually, no, 1 year left, excuse me. This is his last year. So I'm probably not going to trade him, because I'm going to want to keep him as a lefty in the pen. But I don't know if I will re-sign him past next season. Lopez I'll bring back for $850,000. Farmer. Oh, he doesn't want him. Come on, Buck. Zach Birdie. We'll try it with the Birdie twins again next, or not the Birdie twins, but the Birdie brothers next year again. We'll see if that works out. They were a complete disaster together this year. I still have high hopes. Brent Honeywell, definitely need to bring him back. So he's arbitration eligible for the first time. He still has 4 years left of team control. Kind of waiting for him to break out a little bit. He has been steady as a solid pitcher in the middle of our rotation. Still gives up too many long balls, but the strikeout to walk ratio has been pretty good, right around 4-1. It was even closer to 5-1 3 years ago when he had 19 wins and he had good peripherals, but the ERA was kind of high that year. So he's been, he's been a solid pitcher for us. Definitely good. I mean, he's part of this rotation. I feel is so solid. Like, I don't really think we need to make any changes to this rotation for as long as we don't have to. As long as the money is fine and before guys get to free agency. But Honeywell for 4.4. I mean, I'm not eager to extend a guy like him. De Leon for 1.4 million is a no-brainer after the way he pitched in the playoffs, and I definitely think he could be the number 4, number 5. So the real question is what to do with a guy like Daniel Norris. That's probably the one spot you look at that you would want to upgrade, just because I don't really want to pay him $8.5 million to be our 4th or 5th starter. That doesn't seem very smart to me. So I did have one interesting trade for Norris, but the money kind of depends. It's going to be a little bit dependent on what we decide to do with these 3 guys, money-wise, because we have 3 free agents, 2 very big ones, Anthony Rizzo and Mike Morin, and then we also have Matt Carpenter. Like I said, Carpenter probably not going to re-sign, but Rizzo and Morin both are going to get the qualifying offer. Trevor May, probably not. Let's do with May first. $3.8 million. He was not that great for us this year. Maybe he's a guy I would look at later on in free agency, but I'm not going to re-sign him right off the bat. But Mike Morin and Anthony Rizzo, these are 2 huge pieces to what we do. Rizzo is looking for $24 million, and Morin is looking for $19 million. So that's both well above what I want to pay these guys. But Rizzo just had 50 home runs. He just had a 50 home run season. And I think I would like him back if I could get him, even if it was for big bucks on maybe a shorter term deal. But it's kind of tough to lose guys like this in free agency for nothing. I mean, Rizzo had such a monster season. And if you look at the farm system, we don't really have anything coming that could replace either of those guys. We would just sort of have to be relying on. I mean, we would have money to spend is the thing. We do have $24 million, about $24 million. That doesn't include the potential money we could get by just non-tendering Daniel Norris or trading him for someone who doesn't make any money. There's also the potential of trading a guy like Jose Ramirez. Although Ramirez has kind of helped stabilize the infield a little bit the last couple of years. He wasn't quite as good this year. He didn't play quite as much. He was a little banged up. He doesn't make that much money, though. I think we probably want to keep him. I mean, we don't really have much on the infield. So I don't really think trading Ramirez to keep a guy like Rizzo, to overpay a guy like Rizzo, would really be worth it. And I think, honestly, we're probably just going to have to try and find guys with the money that we have to replace both of them, because there's just no way we're going to be able to free up $24-25 million to get Anthony Rizzo and then still kind of be comfortable to fill in with the rest of the roster. Just Rizzo really not that worth it. Even at his peak last year, hitting 50 home runs, which he probably will not do again, he was still 4.9 F4, which is good, but it's not like, I mean, we can probably replace, I don't know, 60% of that at the very least. Hopefully closer to like 80% of that would be ideal. But we're also just going to have to rely on other parts of the roster to step it up, like the rotation. And, I don't know, maybe a guy like Rojas has a better year. He kind of had a down year last year. And maybe we improve the infield a little bit. Or possibly get a DH. But we're just going to try and, I guess we're just going to try and spend the money that we have and see what we can do. At the very least, oh my god, Fido goes over 3 months. But we can, also if the market for either of those guys comes down as free agency goes on, I don't really think they will for either. I think both guys are going to get signed. Maybe not relatively quickly, but I think both will get signed to pretty good contracts at the very least. So we'll go through award season. I guess I could probably just cut out. So we did get Daniel Norris as our Gold Glove. I think he was our first Gold Glove Award winner. And we also got that bench coach, Bernie Crawford, the Aussie. So I think I'm just going to non-tender Daniel Norris. I'd rather have that money to be able to spend on someone than have any of those guys that were offered to me. So Norris is going to be non-tendered. I don't know if I could get a qualifying offer for him. I mean, I definitely know I couldn't in the game, but in real life, I wonder if you could, if you didn't quite reach the 7 years, if you just set it to non-tender a guy like that, but he still might get that money. And I'm going to re-sign Buck Farmer too. He's finally come around and decided to negotiate with me. So Chris Sale wins another Cy Young. I think that is his third straight Cy Young since he's won 3 Pitcher of the Years awards. 2021, yep, all 3 years he's been with us, he's won the Cy Young. So I'd say that was a pretty good signing on my part. Look at that, he's led in ERA each of the 3 years, led in WAR. Yeah, he's been pretty good. A little up and down, but pretty good. At the end of the year, he seems to always just get hot at the end of the year. And he's pitched pretty well for us in the playoffs. He hasn't been lights out like Madison Bumgarner good by any means, but I mean, how could you expect anyone to be that good? I'd say Sale has been pretty much what we signed up for. No complaints on our end. He's definitely underpaid. And look at that, the Rangers got 1-2-3 MVP, and we beat them in the playoffs. Okay, so I'm going to trade Kike Hernandez here because I actually forgot to just non-tender him, and now he's guaranteed $4.2 million next year after the arbitration hearings. But it seems like I'm going to have no problem getting him off the team for no money back. It's just a matter of deciding who I want back. Oh, I'm going to go with Pedro Severino. Why not? Give me the new backup catcher. So it's day 1 of free agency. Let's take a look at the international free agents. Sometimes you get something good there. I saw one right-handed pitcher, reliever, looking for about $6 million. So he could be a potential a guy to help replace Morin in that bullpen. And definitely not as good as Morin, but still. Let's look at the free agents. I saw some pretty big names. Oh yeah, this looks like a good free agent class. Possibly a good one to replace Rizzo. So we got $45 million to spend on free agents. And wow, yeah, this is a very good free agent class. I already see some, look at that, Corey Kluber, only looking for $17 million. I mean, this looks like an obvious candidate that I would want to go after to really help. So, I mean, I don't know, to help replace Norris in the rotation, that would be like a dynamic rotation. That would be DeLeon as a 5. I think, I mean, I don't know, DeLeon's kind of on the bounce back, though. Who knows? That could be an option. Let's look at other guys, possibly in the lineup. I mean, that's only, that could be a slice of the pie, and then we go after a bat. So looking at the bats, not quite as many good ones available, but I see like Christian Yelich. He could be an option at DH potentially, or to play left field. We could, you know, move some guys around, play Yelich in left, Bowers in right, Bell at first to potentially replace Rizzo. There's also Buster Posey, who I think is always a good get at catcher. If you look at our catching situation, though, we have Luis Rojas. We could move to DH, but his defense is also elite. He just really hasn't been that good yet. The thing would be if we could trade him, but he makes less than Posey, so I don't really know if that makes too much sense unless I got a really good deal. There are some good options, though. Wow, Jacob deGrom, who makes not a lot of money and is still very good. That's an intriguing option. Lots of good offers here for Rojas. All guys who are making money, but guys who are making about what he makes, and then, you know, you could get, this is only if you could get Posey on a good contract. So the question would be, I guess I would probably want to go after Posey more than Kluber, because Kluber is good, might be on the better contract because he is going to make less, but you can also get deGrom. You can basically get deGrom on that same contract by trading Rojas. And I still like Yelich as a potential option to help replace Rizzo. Just looking at other options here, Taijuan Walker looking for $30 million. That's definitely not the kind of market that I'm in. And I think this guy was posted from Japan. Looking, ooh, he's pretty nice. Looking for about $16 million. So you'd be another. I think I would still rather go after Kluber, even though you'd have to give up the compensation pick for Kluber as opposed to this guy. But I think you pay that for the proven track record, especially if you're in the position that we're in, where we're trying to go for the World Series. We don't really. If you were in kind of in a different position, I could see you wanted to go after the Japanese guy more and keep that first round pick. But for us, not as important, at least not at the moment. So alright, our first course of action is going to be Buster Posey, 34 years old. So we have to be cognizant of that. But let's do $25 million for 3 years, and maybe do the third year as a vesting option. He needs 500 and... No, let's do 480 plate appearances. Yeah, 480 plate appearances. 3 years, 75 million would be that deal. So that leaves us with about 20 million left. We're going to take on like an extra million or two if we do the Rojas for DeGrom trade. So realistically, don't want to spend more than like 15 rest of the way, which makes Yelich a good option, I think. So looking at Christian Yelich, I think I could get him for a pretty good price. I don't know what his market is going to be, really, coming off of such a down year. I don't know if he would take something like this, but no. How about we do 9 million for 4 years and make the last one a team option? Nope. Alright, how about we do 10 million for 4 years. Oops. And make the last one a vesting. Make it a team option. I don't really even love. I don't know about Yelich too. I mean, there are other options. We could get Familia instead for a similar price to kind of help offset the loss of Morin, as opposed to trying to replace Rizzo. But Rizzo's probably the more important spot to replace. So we're back in on Anthony Rizzo. As you can see, the offer he's considering right now, not too out of our ballpark. So I think what we're going to do for now is rescind the offer on Posey, who has still been mulling it. I think he would sign, but if I could get, you can see this is the message we just got back from him, but I think if I could get Rizzo back, I'd rather just keep him and keep the same sort of core together that we've gotten to 2 World Series with. Posey's also older than Rizzo anyway, and I don't know who's going to hold up better. I'm sure Posey will be upset, and I'm sure we will be able to go back to him if we need to. I hope. But let's do, what if we did 22 million and we did this as a vesting option where he needs 500 plate appearances, but we just rescinded the offer to Posey, my man. What are you talking about? Okay, now we have the money. I just needed to skip forward a day. So Rizzo says that sounds reasonable. Even would have considered giving him a 3-year deal. Maybe. 2 years seems fine, though. We'll see what he says to that. 3 years we could go next time if he... So Mike Morin signs with the Cubs. He got north of 16 million a year. Only for 1 year, though. Kind of surprising. Not coming off of his sharpest year, but he was very good for us. We made a pretty good trade to get him. That was the Matt Duffy trade. And we get a compensation pick for him, so I'm not too bitter about that at the end of the day. Now Washington coming in and competing for Rizzo. So it's kind of back up to that 25 million-ish. But if it's not for more than 2 years, I don't feel too bad about paying that. Let's just add another 0 there. 25 million. We could even do 3 years. And make that just a full team option. Maybe do 23 million, 3 years. Submit that. So Christian Yelich signed with the Cardinals. Didn't get a very high AAV, but got like 6 years guaranteed and a player option for a 7th year. So that's like 7 years guaranteed. Kind of a crazy contract if you ask me. But oh man, Miami now coming in and offering Rizzo a big contract. So we're going to have to go 26 million maybe. There it is. Anthony Rizzo signs our contract. 3 years, 78 million. He got 26 per for 2 years guaranteed. A lot of money, but we had the money to spend. I was ready to do that. So we've got the Rule 5 draft. So here we go with the Rule 5 draft. I added all the guys I needed to the 40-man. There's this one good guy from the Red Sox organization that is available. Let's see if he falls to where... Ooh, he did. To where I'm picking. Oh, yeah. I'm going to draft this guy. Yason Coca. The Salem Red Sox doesn't have any home run power, but does pretty much everything else relatively well. Second round now. No one I really see worth drafting, so I'm just going to complete. And that will be that. So now the question is what to do with the rest of our money. Now that we have Rizzo signed, the market for Posey, he doesn't really want to negotiate with us now. So that's okay. We can chill out. We could still go out and get a Kluber if he's really only looking for that 15 million, but it's closer to 21, which is what I thought. So maybe a reliever. We missed out on the Christian Yelich sweepstakes. Don't really want to go back to Michael Brantley. So Gene Segura's option actually did vest. So I think I'm just going to trade him for probably no salary in return. One of these guys that Austin Owen has been offered to me before. What about this guy, Alexis Pantayoa? Yeah, give me this guy. So that's $6 more million we can spend. One guy I'm going to sign is Eduardo Rodriguez for $1.2 million. He looks like a solid buy low candidate, potentially fifth starter / swingman. We're definitely going to need arms in the bullpen because right now it's looking like Faedo might slide in as that fifth starter. And he could, he's always had that little change up that he could use as a starter. He has that good slider, though. He likes that out of the bullpen. The question is, do we spend the money we have potentially on Corey Kluber? Kyle Hendricks, another guy, but he's looking for about 25, 26 million in reality, as opposed to what it says there at the right-hand side of the screen. So if we were to make an offer to Kluber, we could do 2 years, guaranteed perhaps. Another 0 there. Nope, one more 0. Or do the vesting option. He has to start 28 games, something ridiculous like that. How about 22 million for that? Same thing. 28 starts, 2 years, 44 million. So that would be really kind of stretching our payroll thin, but trying to make upgrades to this roster. Buster Posey signs with the Rockies, so he is no longer available to us. So Kluber comes back. He wants a little more money. Wow, looking for almost 25 million now. I don't know if I would go for more. Well, I literally can't go for more than 24. I don't even know if I could go for this. So I might have to be looking at cheaper options. Probably going to be taking a good hard look at what's out there on the trade market. This guy is interesting, Orlando Romero. I'll sign him, 850,000. Why not? Do 830 right there. Take that if I can. And what else is out there still on the market? These are all players. Kendall Graveman, Alex Gordon. Alex Gordon kind of coming off of a good, well, yeah, he's coming off a good stretch with Minnesota, but it was not extended. He is so bad now. It's so weird how he his play is really just cratered. His production has. Just too bad. He used to be a very good, very underrated player for a long time. All right, so Eduardo Rodriguez signs. It took $2.25 million to get him to commit, but he does sign. There was another team in the mix. So other than that, there was some. This is an interesting Hall of Fame year. Barry Bonds getting in on his 10th year, and then both Ortiz and A-Rod. A-Rod getting in on 99.4% of the vote in his first potential year, which was pretty interesting to see. 99.4. I don't know if he will get that number in real life. Probably not with all of the steroid stuff, but he's a very popular player, obviously. We'll see. I don't know about among the BBWAA. And I don't really think Ortiz will get in on his first year. If you look at Ortiz's career numbers, I don't really know. He's kind of more of a borderline candidate than I think a lot of people realize. Obviously, he was a great all-time hitter, but as a DH, you have to do so much to be a truly, elite and very valuable player. So it's, Ortiz, he was an all-time hitter, but I think probably gets a little bit overrated all time just because of all the clutch hits he had, of course, which he develops a reputation, develops a narrative of him as a clutch hitter, obviously. And he was huge in the clutch. He had, I witnessed his. I was at the game when he hit the grand slam against the Tigers in 2013. Probably the craziest play thing I've ever been witness to live. I mean, that was an unreal turn of events. We really thought the series was going to be over. They were going to be down 2-0. Going, Orlando Romero signed too. That's sweet. But we really thought the series was going to be 2-0 going back to Detroit. Verlander was going to be on the mound. Game 3, I was sitting there with my dad. We were talking about how they were going to have to try to get better in the offseason, probably add another pitcher. But they bounced back. that error by Iglesias, and then Ortiz, the grand slam. So unreal, obviously, but I do think that he probably gets a little bit overrated historically, just because of, and obviously his career went out on a great note, so a little bit of recency bias too. I think he did. People forget he had down years in the late aughts and early 2000s. He sort of, the early 2010s, sort of bounced back. So we're at the end of spring training, and these final couple roster spots are coming down to some of these guys in the bullpen, and it's kind of a question of just who do we want to send down in AAA. I mean, we've got multiple options here for kind of this 5th starter spot, but Faedo has really taken this 5th starter spot by storm. Not in spring training, though. His numbers have not been good, but just with the way his ratings are looking, seems like he could really develop into a very good starter. So obviously that's something we are interested in, even though he was so good for us out of the bullpen last season, and I kind of got him thinking he was just going to be good out of the bullpen. Was that the Carlos Martinez trade? I don't think it was. No, it was Colome, Cal Conley. Wow, that was that's a really good trade. I mean, Colome had a good year, but I got Faedo and Puck. But the question is what to do with Puck and Alexander and some of these guys. I guess Alexander can go down. He's out of options, though. What about Romero? I mean, some of these guys can go down, right? Romero can go down. I know Lara can go down. And I guess Puck can go down, so that solves it pretty much. Alexander going to be here. We kind of have a few different sort of long guys. I don't know how this bullpen's going to work out, but we've got a lot of rotating parts, guys we can just kind of bring up if other guys are struggling in that bullpen. So anyway, that is going to do it. So we're going to look at the preseason predictions and stuff, and then get on out of here. So here we are, opening day, top 100 prospects. Somehow Orlando Romero is the #1 prospect. I don't really believe that. Maybe I should trade him. Get this Pato Urena. This guy's got good power, but I don't really see how he's better than what we've got in Romero. Alright, so let's look at preseason predictions then. 93 wins is our projected record. 806 runs and an ERA under 4. That would be pretty solid. I would think that would be good enough to win the division. Josh Bell is predicted to have a big year, despite his ratings going down a tad. Jake Bowers, same thing, although his ratings have not gone down. Zach Birdie projected to have a bounce back year. That would be nice. Snell, Sale, also in the top 10 pitchers. So cool stuff to see there. And alright, that is going to do it. So I hope you guys did enjoy. Let me know what you thought of the offseason in the comments section below. If anyone was wondering, I DFA'd Reynaldo Lopez and he got claimed. Thought he was going to be good, but he just has been trash ever since we've gotten him. So what do the scouts think of him? Solid starter. I don't know about that. Anyway, that is going to do it. Hope you guys enjoy. Thanks for watching, and I'm out. Peace.